New game. So first you have to choose the player. You choose between either Jacob or Sylvia. We're going to choose Jacob here. And then there are 3 difficulties. You have Spooky, Frightening, and Horrifying. We're going to choose the easiest difficulty. So run starts when we choose the difficulty. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so we are going to skip the first cutscene right away. We do so by pressing the A button multiple times. And then we just start running. We start up with our cell phone. We have our cell phone handy, which is our source of light for the time being, but then the ghost takes it away. So now we have no light sources.
Hello?
So we need to find a new light source. So we're going to search this desk. And right away, we grab the matches. And then there's also going to be a locked door coming up to the north of us, so that's why we grab the key to the left there. And you activate the light source by pressing the A button. Also in this room, there's a locked door to the north of us, so we need to find 2 keys. So we need to traverse these few rooms. We have to head north into this room. And then you guys can't see this, but there's a drawer here. You grab the house key. And there are different types of keys throughout the run as well. You have house keys, emerald keys, skeleton keys.
Grandpa?
All of which are required at certain parts of the run to have. So now we go to the right side. There's another key in here. Also, the ghosts can take you can take damage from the ghosts. Well, they can actually freeze you. And then there are other enemies in the game, such as rats, gargoyles, spiders. So unlock the first door, and then the second door with the other key. So now we are pretty much done with this room. And, so there are 4 main levels in each area, and 1 boss. So right now we are in the mansion area. And, oh, whoops. And then we also have, the attic after this, that followed by the basement, and then finally the catacombs. So there are a total of, I believe, 20 levels. So there was a locked door to the right, so that's why we got that key there. And there's another key in here, the emerald key. Sometimes the enemies can block your way. And then there's a locked door to north of us in this room. So we use the key there. And then there is another locked door towards the right, so we need another key. So we need to head to the left few rooms. Head south, try to avoid this ghost, search this object, and also trying to make sure you don't lose that much health is very important, because if you lose too much, it will reset you at the nearest fireplace, and fireplaces in the run, they can heal you and also defeat enemies, all of the enemies in the room as well. So we're gonna come to the right here. There's the locked door I was talking about before. Then we search this chest, which I don't know if you guys can see or not, because yeah, this mansion is very dark. And the only way you can really see everything is if you use your light sources. But for this run, we're gonna try to spare as much light sources as possible. So now there was another door to the north of us that we just used the key for. And now for this last part, there's a door lots to the north of us that we need to pull switches for in order to unlock it. So there's a switch in that left room, and there's also going to be one on the right room. Inside the right room. So that's the second switch. So now we are done here. So now we head north, and that should be it for level 2. So level 3, there are 2 different paths you could take. Each path requiring a different key. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab an emerald key. So we're gonna head through these few rooms to the north, enter this room up here, then head left, go through this door, and then there's going to be an emerald key in there. So now we head back into this room, head north. And then we are going to search this object. And also in normal playthrough, Normally, you would have to search every single object to find the keys, since you can easily get lost if you don't know what you're doing. So what I did was I used a guide to learn the routes, but when you're playing this casually, yeah, it can easily get a little confusing. And there are also other objects that you can search inside the mansion for some clues relating to their grandfather's disappearance, but fortunately they're not required for this run. So the main goal is just to find the light sources and also the keys. So in this last room here, we have to pull down 4 switches, and then we go through the door, and that is level 3. So now there's one more level before the boss in the mansion portion of the game. So there are 2 keys. Well, there's 1 key that we need. There's a, well, first we're gonna grab the skeleton key, and then we head back into the previous room. There's a locked door to the north of us. So we need a key in this left room. So we search this object.
Yeah.
There's the emerald key. I forgot which key you use for this door, but you use the skeleton key. So now we are still going to need the emerald key for later. But for now, there is a... In the previous room, there was a locked door, and you have to pull down 3 switches in order to unlock it. So we pulled down 2 of them. Now we need to head back to the right. And then in this room, there's another switch. So we pulled all of the switches, but there's this door we have to unlock because there's another key in here. In this room, all the way to the right, we need a house key, because the house key we're gonna need for a later room. So now we're gonna head back into the center room. Gonna head north. There's a blocked door to the north of us in this room, so we're gonna head left. Then head north here. We're gonna use the house key for this door. And then head left and go through this door, and we are done with this level. Okay, so now for the first boss battle. There are 4 boss battles. The first one is the easiest. So we're going to need a light source for this. Then we go through this door. We skip the cutscene. Now what we have to do here is we have to light up 4 fireplaces. And we have to use the torch. I think you can use any light source to do so, but using the torch is the easiest way. And you also have to dodge the bats as well. And then after you light up all the 4 fireplaces, that's the end of that boss. So yeah, that's why it's the easiest one. So now we are coming up to the second area of the game, the attic. So this is where things are going to start to get a little more complicated. So we enter this room. There's going to be a locked door to the north of us. So we're going to head to the left. And then we are going to run into our first offensive light source in the run. To search this object, and we find a normal lantern. So lanterns in this game can also be used to run through walls. Which means that you can only use those kind of light sources to get to certain spots, unlike some other light sources. So now we're going to head back to the right. We got a skeleton key. We're going to need, I think, 1 more skeleton key or another key. So we head to this right room. We head south. We have to use the light source again to go through these walls. We're going to search this object. There's an emerald key. So even though we got 2 keys, that is not the correct key for the door in the previous room. So we're going to open that door up with the emerald key. Going to search this object. There's a house key in there. And also the offensive light sources such as lanterns can also be used to damage ghosts and other monsters. Yeah, I mean, it's if you're familiar with Haunted House on the Atari 2600, it's very similar to that. I personally have not played the Atari 2600 version, so I can't say how that is. But I've heard it's very similar in some aspects. So you enter this left room. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention, we have to conserve as much of the lantern as possible, because that saves a lot of time. Because normally you would have to search for another lantern that's kind of out of the way if you don't have the correct one. It also reminds you of Luigi's Mansion. Yeah, definitely. It's a lot darker, well, literally a lot darker than Luigi's Mansion. So as you can see, we unlocked another door with the skeleton key that we got in the previous room. And we also got the red lantern. The red lanterns are used to go through walls that you can't go through with the other lanterns. So as you can see there, we were only able to use the red lantern to get through. But for the time being, we're going to switch back to the orange lantern just so we can save as much red lantern as possible. We're going to search this object. There's a house key in there. And now we're going to head south, because there are 2 locked doors coming up. We also want to avoid the rats. They're kind of in the way there. They're kind of difficult to dodge. So we unlock the first door, the second door is to the right here. And then there's a new enemy, the gargoyle. So we don't have to fight it, we just have to go through this door. So that's level 2. Now what we're going to do in level 3, we are going to drop the red light source. We are going to pick it up later. We're going to switch it for a different light source. And I think this part is RNG. Let's see what we get here. Okay, nice. Got the torch. So yeah, we're going to pick up the torch for now. We're going to get the red light later, because we are going to need it for the next level. We're going to come to the left side here. We're going to grab the green lantern. That is a new lantern. And also, in this room, there's a locked door to the north of us. So we need to ultimately grab 2 keys in order to advance. Oh yeah, and if you guys have any donations, I'm sure we can squeeze it in somewhere.
Is anybody
there's
there?
very little downtime, unfortunately, but I'm sure we can make it work somehow. Oh yeah, just as a safe strat, you can light up this fireplace. So, like I was saying with the fireplaces, we were able to heal for a little bit. Because there's like an animation that it does when you're close to a fireplace that enables the healing powers. So we got another key, as you guys just saw. We're gonna head back to the left.
Is anybody
We are
there?
gonna keep the blue and green light sources for now. There's still the red lantern, which we're gonna come back for. And we're gonna go through this north area. Gonna switch to green lantern, go through this wall. Oh wait, whoops, I didn't mean to light that up, but actually that's a good safe strat. So yeah, when in doubt, if you're like low on health, if you see a fireplace, make sure to light up, because I mean it loses time, but a better safe than sorry. So we are going to drop the blue lantern here. We got the 2 keys, so we're gonna go through this north door. Oops. And then avoid this gargoyle, and we are done with level 3. So level 4, so the reason we need both the green and red lantern here is because it saves a lot of time. Because normally you would have to get both of those lanterns elsewhere. So we use the green lantern through this room. We have to pull down 4 switches. So we pull down the first switch. You do the same thing on the other side. Pull down the switch. So that's 2 of the 4. So now we head north. Oh, and one thing I just forgot. Whoops. Before you do any of that, you search this object for a skeleton key. Because there's a locked door in this room. Totally forgot about that. Okay, so now we are going to head to the right. In this room there's a locked door, so we're going to head through these right rooms. Go through this wall. We are going to light up this fireplace. Easiest way to get past those gargoyles there. Otherwise it just becomes more difficult if you don't. And then we do the same thing on the other side. And there are also 2 levers in these rooms here. There's 1 lever here, but those are not required. That's only if you don't have the green and red lanterns. So if you have both of those lanterns already, you don't have to pull those, and that saves a lot of time. So now that we pulled all 4 levers, we can go through this door up here, and then get past these ghosts, and that's the level. Okay, now for our second boss battle. This one's a little bit more tricky. We are gonna switch out the green light source for our first magical light source of the run. The Eye of Sauron, or Sauron. So that, like I was saying, the magical light objects are used to defeat multiple enemies at once, and they take a little while to recharge, but at least they don't run out, so that's the only light source that doesn't run out. And there are certain gargoyles that you can only defeat with them, like this one. They have a difference in color.
What was that?
That's how you can kind of tell. Whoops. There was one more I missed. But because the room's so dark, you guys can't see it. But, like for example, this gargoyle, you need the Eye of Sauron to defeat. And then these gargoyles, you can use your lantern. Or you can use the Eye of Sauron, whichever works. Whichever works out better. It's all about strategy in this boss. You also want to make sure you don't take too much damage like right now. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we are still okay. Okay. So this part's kind of tricky. Okay, now there are 3 ghosts that we can only use the Eye of Sauron. I mean gargoyles that we can use the Eye of Sauron on. Yeah, it's not really RNG, it's just... you have to play well, kind of. And yeah, the easiest strat I found out, you can just run in circles, they all group up with gargoyles, and then you can just get them all with the Eye of Sauron. So this part, there are now 4 gargoyles that chase after you. You have to use the lantern or the Eye of Sauron here. So yeah, you just group them up and just keep running in circles, essentially. And then there's going to be another set of 4.
Is anybody there?
Luckily, we are good on health so far, so... the health meter on the bottom left screen, as you guys can see, it goes from smiley face to skeleton. And if you see the character turn into kind of a skeleton, then you're in trouble. Okay, so now this part is the hardest. You have to group all 4 of these gargoyles, and you can only use the Eye of Sauron here. Okay, we got him. Nice. Okay, so that's that battle. So now we are done with Attic, so our next area is the basement. So now is where the rooms start to get a lot darker, so you're going to have to use your light sources a lot more. What I like to do here is use the Eye of Sauron here, because there are a lot of spiders. It's very easy to take damage. So we have to go to this north room. There's a key that's required for a later room.
Grandpa?
So we come down here, we go to this room, back in this room. We unlock this door with that key. Oops. And for safety, we are gonna light up this fireplace. And then we're gonna use the Eye of Sauron to get rid of these spiders. Because there's a skeleton key in there. So we're gonna wait just a second and heal. If you guys see the hearts, that's how you can tell that you're healing. So now we just have to keep running. Make sure to not take too much damage. Also, when in doubt, you still have the Eye of Sauron, so just use the Eye of Sauron to get rid of some of the enemies. So we're gonna run to the right through these few rooms. We use the red candle to go through that wall. Then you use the other key, the skeleton key, to unlock that door. Then we have to pull 3 switches. And then there's one that you can only use the red lantern for. So that's why I was saying we need to save up the red lantern, because we are starting to run out. But luckily we don't need it for the next level. Oh, whoops. Okay, we are good. Okay, so that's level 1 of basement. So we no longer need the red lantern, but I would still use it because, like I was saying, these rooms are much darker compared to the rooms in the mansion and attic. So now we need to search for a blue lantern. There was a previous room that we passed. There's a wall that you can only use the blue lantern for. So we need to run to the right here, then up north to this room. There is a shelf here. There's a skeleton key. And then we have to switch out the light source here. So we no longer need the red lantern. And the blue lantern, we don't have to worry about conserving as much, because we have to drop it in the next level. So now we head back to where we essentially were. Back to this room. There was the wall that we passed. So now we go through here. Now we have to pull a lever that's down this way. Enter this room, pull a lever. And then go back through. Go back to that other room.
Who's that?
And now go to the other side. And now we need another key. Have to be careful with health too, because the fact that the character's screaming right now is not the best thing you want to happen. Okay, we should still be fine though. So now we go back through that wall. Now we go upright. Use the two doors, the two keys to unlock those doors. And there we go. So that is level 3. I mean level 2. So now, like I was saying, we're gonna drop the blue lantern coming up. There are a lot of spiders here. Oh, whoops! So we're gonna use the Eye of Sauron. Get rid of them. Now we are going to switch to the green and also the red lantern. And now we need to make sure we conserve the red lantern as much as we can, because we are gonna need the red lantern till the catacombs. Do you know what? We are very low on health, so we're gonna try to heal first.
What was that?
Because yeah, it's kind of scary right now. And also, that enemy that's chasing after me. Normally you can get rid of all of them, but that particular enemy you can't. So this is where things, like in terms of defeating enemies, it starts to get a little bit trickier. So now we need to head to the other side. We are going to use the red lantern. Go through the red wall. We're going to search on this shelf. Grab the house key. Okay, so now we are going to head back to the room with where we switched the lanterns. Because there are 2 locked doors on the right side of both of that area. So we're gonna go to the right side first. We're gonna unlock that door. And for safety, we are gonna light up that fireplace. Go search this object, and we grab the skeleton key. So we need 2 skeleton keys to unlock a door to the north of us. So we need to go to the other side and pretty much do the same thing. Light up the fireplace, whoops. And then search this object. Oops.
Hello?
And then grab that skeleton key, so that's both skeleton keys. So now we're gonna run back to this room. And we are gonna head north.
What was that?
Back into this room, and then north again. We're gonna unlock this door. And that's it. So now for basement level 4, we are actually going to do a skip of sorts, as you guys will see a little bit later in this level. But first, we have to make sure we don't lose too much health. It's very easy to lose health in this part. So we come into this room. Now we have to head left, because there are 3 keys that we have to find in this area. So we head north first. Whoops. We are going to search this. There's a skeleton key. And the main goal of this level is to find 3 emerald keys. The first one is in here. We are also going to heal. Just to make sure we have enough health to finish this. And now we head south. We search this object. There's another emerald key, so that's 2 of the 3 emerald keys. So now we have to head back to the right. And now go to the other side, to the right side. we're gonna use the skeleton key to unlock this door. And then eventually, we will want to unlock this door with all 3 emerald keys. But not yet. But first you have to unlock another door. We are gonna wait here first because it's very easy to take damage in the next room. So we're gonna head through this wall. We have to pull down 4 levers. Hopefully we can do it without taking too much damage. Okay, we did it. Then we still have to heal again. Okay, we should be good on health. We are gonna head back to the left side. Gonna head back to the center. And then head down. Because in this previous room right here, there is a right path. And there's the emerald key in there, but you can only, you have to pull down the switches in order to be able to obtain it. So, got the last emerald key. So now we are going to purposely take damage. And then we are going to respawn right back at this door, where we use all 3 emerald keys and not take damage. And there we go. So that saves a little bit of time. Normally you would have to go the long way back. But because we used that fireplace earlier, we saved a little bit of time. So now we are going to use another magical light source for this boss. The spiders is the most difficult boss in my opinion, because you can easily take damage. So I like to use the branch.
Take that.
And then we have to light up or destroy the spider webs. We have to destroy 4 of them.
What was that?
Okay, let's see if we can get through this.
Ow! Ow!
Oh my goodness. Like I said, very easy to take damage here. We are gonna pick up a health item. There are 2 health items, luckily, in this boss.
That'll leave a mark.
Alright, and there's another spider web. And they're all located in corners, so we got the...
Is
We
anybody
got
there?
3 of them. Now the one on the bottom left corner is the only one left. Oh, whoops. Okay, we should be good.
Ow!
And that's all of them. Okay. So we saved a little bit of time. Okay, now for what is usually the most difficult area in the entire game. The catacombs. And it's very easy to get lost when you're casually playing through this. And there's normally a red light source to the left, but because we already have it, we're gonna head right. Because there are, I think, I forgot how many levers, several levers that we have to pull in order to unlock the door. We open this up because we need the green light source. Whoops. Okay, so now we go through this wall. We pull down this switch, so that's 3 of the 6. I believe there are 6 switches. There are 3 on the right side and 3 on the left side. So now we enter the center room, where the locked door is located. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. It's 9 switches because there are 3 right here. Now we enter the left side. We are going to head through this north wall. There's a lever here. And we're going to do the same thing for the left side and south side. Okay, and then one more. Whoa, it's right here. Okay, so that's all 9 switches. We are going to head back to the center room. So now that we pulled all of the switches, we are going to head north. So that, basically that door unlocks, and that's it. That is Catacombs Part 1. So level 2 is also normally tricky. We need to use the red lantern here, so that's why we have to conserve it, or save as much lantern as possible. We are going to now head all the way north. And there's a locked door in this room to the right that eventually we're going to need 2 keys to unlock. But first we have to pull down 2 switches, which unlocks 2 doors. I'm gonna use this fireplace for safety. There's the first lever. So now we go to the other side.
Who's that?
And then you pretty much do the same thing. Hold on this lever. And now we go back to the center room. And now there are 2 doors that have opened. The first one is through here. Just gotta avoid the spiders. Because there's a key in here. There's a skeleton key and there's also an emerald key in the other room that we unlocked. So now we have to head south because the next door is not in this room. Though we have to come back here later. It's in this room. It's in the bottom right corner. Actually, no, I'm wrong. It's the top right corner. It's through here. Avoid the spiders. Be careful not to take too much damage. How am I still taking damage? Okay, is that a glitch or something? Oh my goodness. You know what, I think we're still fine because at least we got the 2 keys. So, I don't know if that's a glitch because normally that's not supposed to happen. But I guess the spiders kind of grouped up on us. But now that we got the keys, we go back to this room. Unlock this door. And through here. And that is Catacombs level 2. Okay, so level 3. We are mainly going to need a green and blue light source. And this is the first level which features the Grim Reaper. So we have to be very careful with that enemy because that will deal the most damage. Or you take the most damage from that Grim Reaper. So we pull down 4 switches. And now we head to the left. We are going to now have to get the blue lantern. And now we have to find some keys because, yeah, there are keys to north and south of this room. So we're gonna head north first. Gonna go to the right here. I'm gonna search. Try to avoid these ghosts. Okay, got the first key. So we're gonna primarily use the blue lantern here because we need the green lantern mainly for the next level. So now we head back south because we got the house and emerald key, so we need 1 more key. Gonna use the green lantern to go through this wall. Head to the left with the blue lantern. For safety, light up this fireplace. You can gain back some health. So now we got 3 keys. Now we're gonna use those 3 keys to unlock the final door. And there we go. Okay, so now Catacombs level 4 is normally the trickiest of them all. And it's very easy to take a lot of damage here as well. But first and foremost, we are going to search this item. Okay. Because there's a magical light source in there. We are going to need that for the final boss. Because if you don't have a magical light source, then it becomes very tricky. Because if you don't have a light source, that basically means you lose a lot of time. And now we unlock those doors to the left and right, so now we go into this room. There is a key in each of these rooms, so now we head south. You have to use the blue lantern to go through here. There is another key in here.
Who's that?
So there are, I believe, 2 emerald keys, a house key, and a skeleton key. Oh, almost forgot. We need to switch the light source. We need the red lantern. So we no longer need the blue lantern. And I forgot to mention, if you accidentally drop the light source and you forget the keys, you have to restart the level over. because there's no way to get the lantern that's required back, which is unfortunate. Which would be unfortunate. Oh, actually, we're gonna head north first. Actually, wait, am I in the right room? I think so. Okay, so there are 2 emerald keys in the next 2 rooms. The first one is right there. Then we head south. Gonna use the green lantern, go to this wall. We're gonna search. Is try to avoid the Grim Reaper. I mean, more than likely you'll take damage here. That's alright. Just gotta be very careful. Yeah, we gotta be very careful. We are kind of not doing too well on health. So now we're almost done. Because there's a lot door to the north of us. But first we're gonna head south. Because we are gonna grab the magical light source now. Because we're pretty much done in this area. We don't need to come back here. Now we head through here. We're gonna unlock this door with the skeleton key. But there's one more thing we need to do. We have to head left here. There's one more skeleton key in here. And now we are going to head all the way right. There's a Grim Reaper in the next room. Just for safety, you use your magical light source. That easily defeats it. And that is Catacombs level 4. So now the light sources that you find in the final boss, they are 100% RNG. It's completely random which ones you find. If you get lucky, you can find another magical light source. So the good news is we did, so we're going to pick up the other magical light source. Okay, now the final boss, you need to drop 3 grenades at the ghost of, I forgot his name, Ghost of Eric, I believe. So you have to defeat these Grim Reapers. You switch out the light source for this grenade, then you drop the grenade roughly on the stairs. And then you repeat the same thing 2 more times. Drop the next grenade. We're gonna pick up the light source again. Let's see if there's one more Grim Reaper somewhere. Okay, there's another one. Switch, okay, the stairs. And now we have to run. Oh, what? Okay, we got stuck. This is okay. So now we are done. We got the final boss. We beat the final boss, so now we have to run out of here. We have to run north. We have to run out of the mansion. Or out of the haunted house. So yeah, you just keep running. Otherwise, if you stop, the enemies will get you from behind. So you don't want to stop. Go through this door, and I forgot to say, but time.